right, was satisfying.
Everton have said satisfying.
I don't know why they've said that, but fair play. But fair play.
Because they're playing a long game, maybe it's something we don't know.
So they've done it, and then they go to the next hearing, and they get 2 points.
Oh, points.
Right.
Oh, points.
There's more points, right?
Yeah,
but it's not so much that it's hugely... we're still left with less than what we were given in the first place, right?
Sure.
So some people might go, well, you know what? Another 2 points and we're all right, we get away with it, so to speak, because we'll just have enough to survive. And especially if Forest get 6 points or 7 points, whatever. Yeah. That to me is still wrong, though, because that to me is still, if we don't want to use double jeopardy, that is still...
No, that's if we're using that as just common terminology.
I'm just using it as a way.
You're not getting done twice for the same thing.
Yeah.
But you have got done twice for the same thing.
Yeah, that kind of thing.
Unless you can argue that actually the 2 points or whatever you just invented is for the year that wasn't in the previous.
What I'm saying is, Everton, we know that these two charges are for 2 different financial years, don't we? So therefore, Everton have got 6 for 1 financial year.
Yeah.
I personally don't think it's appropriate for if Everton have breached again. Yeah. So therefore, it activates that 6 points again, but then mitigation brings it back. Well, you've had 75 or whatever it is. It comes down
you end
to
up
2.
To a number.
Nice. They go 2 because you've already had that. Bang, bang. We're still getting points from 2 different seasons played out in the one season, which I think is totally, it does really affect I already think the integrity of the league's gone anyway with the points
Masters and frankly, let's not personalise it. The Premier League's board which is non-execs, Alison Britton and Richard Masters, have had absolute mare on this.
Yeah, they are. So they've already... It's almost becoming like the COVID season now for looking at it and going, well, it's got asterisks, isn't it? It's not.
They just want to be right now.
Right.
Whether it's fair or not, they don't care.
But it will be even, right. In my argument, it will be even worse to do it again, because again, like you said...
I agree, I've just said that, haven't I?
Yeah, so if it happens again, if Everton need a points deduction, because that's what the Commission says, for me, the only fair and proper way will be Everton lose 6 points again next season, or they're suspended.
Well...
What do you take for that argument? Do you bat it away? Do you accept it?
I bat it away.
Okay,
right?
That's fine.
And I bat it away for a couple of reasons, right? So, one of them totally outside our control, right?
Yeah, of course.
The reason we're getting points deduction for what you call 2 seasons in 1 season, it's over 4 years. In fact, it's over 5 years. Because of COVID, there was 2 years.
Yeah.
So we're talking about here getting a punishment for something that happened 5 years ago.
Yeah.
Is my logic would say we should have got the points deduction last year.
Yeah.
Therefore, we'd then get another point deduction this year. Actually, we probably wouldn't because we'd be in the Championship, right? Yeah. And therefore, whose fault in quotes is it that we didn't get done last year? Answer: the Premier League. It's not Everton's fault. I don't care what bloggists say. It's not Everton's fault. If you have to pay tax, pay it as late as you can, right? If you have to go to court and it's, you're going to go to prison, stay free for as long as you can. And if the process and the mechanisms by the prosecutor are so absolutely poor that it takes them a year to get you to court, that's their problem, not yours. Yeah. And clearly they had to collate their own evidence to get to this far. And it doesn't look very good, has it? So that's one reason. The other reason is we are where we are. And the judge in the appeal, which gave us benefit of 4 points, has set the precedent that if you get a points sanction, it should be applied immediately. And he talks about why a suspended points deduction is not appropriate. I could challenge that, to be honest, because one of the things he does talk about is the whole ethos around this is to... And again, not his words because he writes legal stuff, but I would say it's to scare the 20 clubs sufficiently that they don't breach. Yeah. But don't scare them because there's so little transparency, anything can happen. Yeah. Scare them because they conclude that the punishment for breaching is greater than the benefit they may get. And maybe, just maybe, that's what played out in January. I just think lots of clubs just concluded they didn't want to spend and it was an easy way to explain why. Yeah, but hey, what do I know? But we are where we are and therefore get it done and get it behind us. However, I think we could argue to get to the same outcome, which is we don't get another points deduction. Right? Because I think this actually, a lot of this comes down on the prosecutor, right, which is the Premier League. Do you know why we've been referred to an independent commission?
Go on.
Because the Premier League process says we have to be.
Yeah.
If they don't want us to go through this again, if Richard Masters Premier League, if we want to call it that, even though Alison Britton's a bit quiet in the shadows somewhere, but if the Premier League really want to get into a position where Everton could be issuing a statement a week after or 2 weeks after Nottingham Forest have issued a similar statement saying this punishment is both unjust and disproportionate, having moved us from that to satisfied, they haven't learnt anything, have they?
No.
So when the
not at all.
barrister stands up under the instruction of his client in front of the Nottingham Forest judge, and then subsequently a different set under the Everton judge, yeah, and says, I want the maximum punishment available to you, they haven't learnt anything, have they?
No.
So it could be it's a procedural case for us, right? He stands up and says, Your Honour, these guys have breached the rules. We think they've learnt the lesson. We request you give them the minimum sanction possible, and if at all possible, avoid a points deduction, for example. And would a judge, if both the prosecution and the defence were happy with that, then give them something else? No, he wouldn't, would he?
No.
Right? So it's all on the Premier League. Do you want a pound of flesh? Does Richard Masters or the Premier League board want to perceive itself to be right? Does it want to still try to demonstrate to the wider world that it can self-regulate when it clearly can't? That boat has sailed. It's long since sailed. Or does Richard Masters and Alison Britton and the non-execs want to be the people who decide who gets relegated?
Seems like that.
And when you have national journalists on national radio stations saying that's actually what it looks like, that last bit, avoid that like the plague. And the only way you can avoid that like the plague, Premier League, is get both Nottingham Forest and Everton not to appeal.
Mad.
Would you be happy not knowing anything else, yeah, that both Nottingham Forest and Everton chose not to appeal?
Be well better.
I think that would be fine. Even if that was a stupid points deduction for us and a stupid points deduction for them, it meant that there was overwhelming evidence that what we got, we deserved, yeah? And I would still sit here and go, but points deductions, guys, wrong answer.
No, it is the wrong answer.
Wrong answer.
There'll never be a world where it's the
UEFA
right
have decided in similar circumstances with something which the Premier League claims it's going to adopt that the right answer is a fine. Hit these owners, and maybe the owners, not the football clubs, but hit these owners where it hurts most. Money.
If you want to watch the rest of this video, then make sure you join Toffee TV Premier, when you can get access to all our exclusive shows, including live daily videos. Click the QR code on the screen here.